Chronicles TV on air. We are now live in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. In the previous episode, we finished part 2, episode 2 of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I don't know what the heck I'm saying. The Great Ace Attorney number 2, Resolve. Today's episode right now, we're going to go into episode 3. If you're hot today's episode, make sure that like button. We were given that option before. Anyways. So it is what I was thinking. It should be that crystal tower thing that was setting up. Alright. If you have today's episode, make sure that like button is supposed to your channel.
The grand end of the century great exhibition of London. Surely there is not a soul who has failed to hear of it. Wondrous new works of culture and industry from every corner of the globe had converged on Hyde Park, welcoming over 50 million visitors. The last great hurrah of this century. Astonished and delighted people of all nations, and ended on a note of resounding success. But as regards to the terrible catastrophe that occurred during the festivities, very few were aware my friend Mr. Herlock Sholmes had a hand in unraveling the matter. For from the shadows, it was he who earnestly unearthed the facts of the case. And like the centerpiece of the great exhibition, which rose high into the skies of Hyde Park, Sholmes's brilliant deductions, as clear and lofty as the crystal tower itself, brought the truth to light.
Does this mean we're gonna meet the Russian revolutionary? What the heck?
We're here at the showground of the Great Exhibition, which is absolutely packed with people. The weather is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a most extraordinary scientific experiment.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 20th century will see steam engines and electrical power dominate the world. Horse-drawn carts will give way to the motor car. Ships will sprout wings and take to the skies. And today, we showcase even more advanced technology, a glimpse into the future. A world first, a demonstration of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine! A man will literally be disassembled by a pulse of high voltage electricity and beamed to another location. Whereupon his body will be reassembled by a series of complex calculations exactly as it was before. In but a few moments from now, this gentleman will, in the blink of an eye, complete an incredible journey through the air. To arrive an instant later on the Crystal Tower behind you!
The guy's gonna die from whatever experiment you're gonna do. That's for sure. One thing's for sure, one thing I've noticed, I have yet to see any anime cinematic scenes. This is all CG, all that stuff, with their voices in. So, surprisingly, that's different. I'm so used to seeing. Never mind, let's go.
This one, yes! Woo!
That man gonna die.
Yes.
He gonna die. He gonna die. And I'm assuming he died. And he's being blamed for his death. October 22nd? Dang. Runo! Runo, are you listening? Oh, sorry. What was that, Iris? What's the matter with you? You've been miles away all morning. Didn't you like what I cooked for breakfast? No, that's not at all. That's not it at all. What we were talking about again? Today's paper. It's full of news about the great exhibition again. Ah, yes, the great exhibition. I'd like to go sometime. You're really not usual self today. You seem very down. Don't you agree, Hurley? Huh? Did you say something, Iris? Oh gosh, you're even more down. Oh, when did you arrive, Mr. Naruhodo? I've been here for about half an hour already. We had breakfast together. What? Why didn't you mention it before? I thought you might have known I was here, you know, because breakfast? Iris is quite right. You're clearly lacking in vim. So much that I didn't even notice your presence. Thanks? Of course, I should deduce the reason perfectly well with some simple observations. What? Let's see. Yes. For example, your tousled hair this morning with all its unruly spikes. Hey, it's been deduced therefore that. Let me stop you there, Mr. Sholmes, because I think I can see where this is going. My hair always looks like this. It always has ever since we first met, in fact. Oh, really? How interesting. It just doesn't look like a haircut as such, I suppose. Thanks again. It crossed my mind recently that it's been 6 months now. Isn't it 7? Now it's October? Wait, whatever. 6 months? Since I was forbidden from working in court. So I've been wondering how much longer I'm going to be banned. Oh, well. They didn't explain how he was banned. During the previous episode. They didn't explain. They just explained that there's a case that he should not be talking about again. Don't you agree, Hurley? Did you say something, Iris? Oh, here we go again. Back to moping. Anyways, Iris, get to the point. What's so about the great exhibition that you want to talk about? What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes today? He seems even more down in the dumps than me. I know, and the great exhibition has opened. You think he'd be excited? Oh, why don't we all go see it together? I want to, of course I do, but I can't. Not for the time being. Why not? Why not? Why not? Because I'm a great detective after all. So you're embroiled in some trickery case that you can be distracted from? Is that it? I don't remember hearing that you're working on a case, Hurley. I suppose I should try to find out what's going on. Okay, someone explain to me what happened 6 months ago. How is it relevant? Half a year ago now, I took on the defense of a young girl in the trial heard that they obey. Yes, we know who she is. Is that what happened? Is that why we're banned? After Gina's perjury? During the course of the trial, it was found that I made an unavoidable yet at the same time unforgivable mistake. Which failed me in this situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, my lord. I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial. Of course, my lord. So that's what happened? It was after Gina's case? In the end, I had my right to represent people in court revoked. I was told I had to spend my time in research and study, so that's what I've been doing. You have, haven't you, Reno? Reading all those big fat tomes about British law up in your room and the notes about Shum's old cases? Brewing Iris' special blends of tea, fetching my daily bread for me. You become something of a manservant around here. Start off the silverware next, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, I'm thinking I'm going to ask the powers to be to reconsider. Specifically, Lord Stronghart at the British Supreme Court of Whitehall. Lord Stronghart? I have no idea. Ah, delightful Lord Chief Justice. Not my favorite fellow. He's not mine either, but he's the man I have to talk to. He's the only one who can grant permission for me to start working in the courts again. I came to Britain to become the best lawyer I could. I can't do that just sitting around here. You know, I thought it would be something more serious, but other than that, I guess not. The whole of London has been swept up in the Great Exhibition, hasn't it? The most advanced science, the most modern technology, the finest works of art and feats of engineering. For the next 6 months, our capital will showcasing these things, and the world will be watching. Aww, do you know what I like to do? I like to look down on London from one of those lovely balloons. Look down on... Do you mean those things? Fly? Yes, of course, they fly high in the sky. Don't even need wings to do it. All you need is hot air. But how? How does hot air have anything to do with flying? It makes no sense. I can't understand it at all. That's true. A lot of new scientific discoveries. Most people can't understand them at first. But in 100 years' time, all these things will just be common knowledge. I suppose they might be. Mind you, some of the science being demonstrated seems very questionable. Something went wrong on the opening experimentation stage yesterday. Apparently, there was a huge explosion. Still, I wish I'd seen it though. I'd love to see how bad some of these scam experiments really are. Says the innocent 10-year-old girl. See here, every page on the paper carries some article or other about the Great Exhibition. The brighter things shine, the darker the shadows that are cast behind them. Personally, I find myself drawn to the darkest, to the impenetrable. That is my proper atmosphere. Shadows cast behind. Is that a metaphorical way of referring to the back page of the paper? Are you investigating a particularly tricky case at the moment, Mr. Sholmes? You got to say that, I suppose. Nothing more to add. That's not like you. What case it? Shh! Quiet, Mr. Naruhodo. We must not discuss it here. You never know who might listen. You're acting very strangely, Hurley. What do you mean, Iris? Well, actually, the more mysterious and complicated a case is, the better Hurley's mood. Ah! Is that really a case that's bothering you? Iris, please, you must exercise your astute powers of observation and deduction on me without invitation. Remember what I always say. Put yourself in the shoes of the individual about whom you're making deductions, says the guy that always makes deductions. You say that, do you? You, Mr. Sholmes? Never mind, once I have a cup of tea, I must make my way at once to the crime scene. That was a deep sigh. Oh, let me see what we got. Yo! Whoa! What's this? So many glowing reports about the Great Exhibition, and everything's there that's going on. Other than this rather gloomy looking one, that is. Wait, what? What's the matter, Runo? The Reaper attacked. That's Lord Von Zykes. This must be what Mr. Sholmes was talking about. Does he know any more, I wonder? First test of matter transfer. Hey, we can actually read it! Every article on the front page is news about the Great Exhibition. Public experience to demonstrate brand new scientific ideas, cultural exhibits for the globe. It's also positive and hopeful about the coming century. We must all go to see it properly before too long. And we're debriefing our Russian friend in a bit, I bet. It says the paper that Lord Von Zykes was attacked. That's terrible. You know the legend of the Reaper of the Bailey, of course, don't you? Only too well, in fact. Yes, Prosecutor Beric Von Zykes. They say that if the Reaper is prosecuted in the case, there's no salvation for who's ever in the dock. Even if the defendant is found not guilty. Once the Reaper has someone in his sights, one way or another, that person's time left on this earth will be short. London's finest rogues always find his way around the law. They'll stop at nothing to secure their acquittal at trial. Falsifying evidence, paying sharp witnesses, threatening jurors, bribing judges. But even such devious tactics are these cannot save them from the hand of the Reaper. As you experienced yourself, haven't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I've seen the Reaper's retribution at work. Many of these criminal rogues are reckless and quite unafraid to die. If a legend among their fraternity is seen to have been taken by the Reaper, retaliation like this does occur. Really, the capital has a never-ending supply of such scoundrels. So, do you mean Lord Von Zykes has been attacked like this before? This isn't the first time? He's quite an accomplished combatant, you know. He doesn't take these attacks lie down. Although, it seems that his assailants were armed with guns this time. Oh my goodness, is he alright then? Is Lord Von Zykes hurt? My dear fellow, how on earth would I know? Well, in the article here it says, as to what of Lord Von Zykes and his condition, all will be revealed in tomorrow's morning edition. Ah, I see. Well, we shall have to be patient then. No, I can't wait until tomorrow. In that case, you should have to inquire with somebody in the know. But who? Lord Stronghart, perhaps? Well, I must be leaving now. Yes, understood. See you later, Mr. Sholmes. Ha! You really are a shameless liar sometimes, my dear fellow. What? You seek to put me off guard and follow me, don't you? Well, you would be wasting your time. The thought had crossed my mind, but now I'm wondering where you're going. Well then, see you later indeed. Listen to him. He's still laughing on his way out of the door. Yo! Alright then, Runo, let's get going. Oh, Iris? What are you wearing? I've got changed to go to the Great Exhibition. You're going to take me. What? But I was just about to go to the Supreme Court. Oh, well, that sounds fun too. You're going to take me there then. Alright, fine. Just lower that weapon, would you? Of course! And after the Supreme Court, then we'll go to see the Great Exhibition. I mean, we are her legal... Well, not really legal, but... we are her guardian for the time being. Lord Chief Justice Office. At least we don't have to go... Okay, never mind. We're back here again. It's been about 6 months now since I was last here. Some things never change. Like the sense of foreboding I always seem to feel in this place. Iris? It doesn't seem to be bothering Iris at all, though. She's happily reading over there. Oh, I love this place. I always find so many interesting books here. Of course, I was forgetting that you've been here before. The time we came here 6 months ago. When Susato was given the news that she was to return to Japan. This is literally just DLC. Using the same models. The flashback. Oh, I understand you wish to speak with me? Oh, Lord Stronghart. I trust you've been keeping well? Let's see. Since you arrived and requested an audience, it's been 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 26 seconds. I've kept you waiting a while. My apologies. Oh, no, not at all. I like nothing more than staying around, staring into space. Good to know. Good to know that doesn't appear to bother him at all. Male Stronghart, Lord Chief Justice of London. He's the man who allowed me to start practicing as a defense lawyer when I arrived in Britain as a student. You need only save the air for a moment in this grand office to understand his preeminent status. Hey, isn't that the emblem that we saw before? From the collar in his wherever the neckties at? As you will be aware, the Great Exhibition of London is now underway at last. Wrong voice, I need to have a British one. We're extremely busy as a result, policing the grounds, guarding the new technologies, dealing with petty crime. And furthermore, as the next month, we shall open the International Forensic Science Symposium. Oh, I've not heard about that. Investigating authorities from 40 countries around the globe will be taking part, including from your own land. Forensic science is the future. The world must embrace it. As we're the hosting nation, I have much to do, and it is my highest priority. If others must wait for my attention as a result, so be it. Well, it's nice to know where I stand. So, you wish to consult with me? Of course, I can very well imagine what this is about. Thank you for agreeing to meeting me, my lord. I want to be allowed to start working as a defense lawyer again in court. That's what brought me here today. But actually, there's something else playing on my mind as it happens.
Bruno! Just take a deep breath and come out with it.
Put the gun down, young lady. I actually came here today to ask for your permission. Go on. 6 months ago, my work in court as a lawyer was revoked and I was told to spend my time studying. Obviously, I'm very sorry for what happened, but the thing is, it made me understand what it really means to defend somebody under the rules of a foreign justice system. And I desperately want to have another go. Please, permit me to enter the courtroom again. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? Here it comes. I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? At best, you are a substitute for your compatriot. This was never your intended role. Well, that's true. The Japanese government actually sent my best friend on the study tour, not me. It should have been Kazuma. He was so determined to bring the change to our own justice system at home. That was his calling. If that tragic accident hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here in this office now. Mr. Asoki was my best friend, you see. That's why I can't leave it unfinished. I have to fulfill his calling for him. His calling, you say? Has that never occurred to you? That perhaps you know nothing of his true calling? Sorry? The mission with which that young law student was charged, what do you suppose it really was? What do you mean, mission? He's not making any sense. Never mind. I've read all the reports you submitted over the past 6 months. It's clear to me that you regret your actions and have been studiously obeying your revised instructions. Do you mean? As of this moment, I reinstate your license to practice law here in Great Britain. Thank you! Thank you so much!
That's wonderful news, Bruno!
In fact, I believe I have the perfect case to mark your comeback. A curious affair. You'll consider it, I hope?
Of course! Please, tell me more!
You described it as a curious affair? Yes, that's right. I believe it was reported in the press. Are you aware that there was a serious accident at the Great Exhibition yesterday?
Oh no. Yes, I read about it. A professor from Germany tried to carry out a crazy experiment. Let me see, how was he described? Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, I think.
Instantaneous kinesis? As in moving things with a click of fingers?
That's right. It's just what my herbal blends need. A dash of devil-may-care.
Capcom! Whatever the serious accident was exactly, it's clearly captured Iris's imagination. It's an unfortunate business. A large explosion engulfed the public experimentation stage, and a man lost his life. I saw that coming. A certain Mr. Odie Osman, an investor as well known as figure in society. A large explosion?
A man died?
The man responsible for the experiment was the Professor Albert Harebrain.
Yeah, I see that.
He was determined immediately after the incident and is due to appear in court tomorrow. On the charge of murder. What? Murder? If you attempt to take on this defense, you should hurry to meet with him at the prison. That is very little time left for you to carry out any kind of investigation. The Great Exhibition, a scientific experiment gone wrong, and murder? I feel out of my depth before I even started still.
We should go to the prison straight away then and try to meet with the German professor. Don't you think?
Definitely. Ah, yes. One more thing about the case. There is a connection with our mutual acquaintance, the Reaper. Oh, with Lord Von Zykes? We have to present the thing. Also, all sorts of conferences have been taking place around the world to coincide with the Great Exhibition. And next month, the largest and most important of them all will take place at last. The International Forensic Science Symposium. It does seem as though criminal investigation needs to embrace scientific methods, doesn't it? Exactly. London, the global epicenter of culture, science and wealth, now has the population exceeding 6 million. Sadly, crime in the capital is growing at a similarly startling rate. So it's imperative that we use the slightest scientific methods to investigate and resolve cases as efficiently as possible. Which is what's known as a forensic science, isn't it? Exactly, the future of policing. Regrettably, however, Britain is currently dragging its feet when it comes to adoption of forensic methods. Oh dear, that's alarming. Exactly, it's extremely alarming. If I were Her Majesty's Attorney General, you can be sure the number of crimes committed and resolved in London will be very different to the current figures. And I can cite 12 solid arguments and 223 individual reasons to support my claim. Sorry? By the way of apologizing for keeping you waiting here, I shall detail everyone now. What? We don't have the time for that, sir.
How fascinating.
It all began 15 years ago. I was... Oh my god. Why do we gotta press for that?
And he's still talking.
And that more or less sums up my feelings on the matter in the simplest of terms, of course. Essentially, to formally establish a forensic investigation division within Scotland Yard. That is my mission.
Oh, right, yeah, that's wonderful.
Exactly. Wonderful is precisely what it will be.
Iris? Iris isn't paying attention at all. She's got her nose in another book now. Oh, is it over? Did you learn anything useful?
I actually drifted off for the most part. He's surprisingly ardent about forensic science. Alrighty then. Oh, that reminds me. Have you seen this? The reports of the overwhelming success of Great Britain exhibition, of course. No, not that. The story on the back page. What story? The Reaper attack. Ah, that. You've enjoyed some victories in court against my #1 prosecutor, have you not?
Poor Mr. Reaper. What happened to him? He wasn't killed, was he?
There's no need for concern. Lord Von Zykes would not easily dispatch, I assure you.
Can you tell us what happened? I really love to know.
Very well. If it interests you.
It does, strangely.
Fortunately, Lord Von Zykes emerged from the attack unscathed. Street ruffians are no match for that man. He's a very capable fighter.
But that's incredible. They were armed with guns. Why was he attacked though? Do we know?
It's related to the events that occurred a month ago. A leader of one of the capitalist criminal organizations was indicted and prosecuted by Von Zykes. While the man was acquitted, I have no doubt large sums of money were involved behind the scenes.
Large sums of money?
A deplorable situation. Members of the jury were bribed, it seems. However, despite winning his freedom, the man in question met a dramatic end yesterday.
But you're not suggesting that was the work of the Reaper, surely?
The victim's henchmen certainly seemed to think so. He was a man by the name of Osman.
Wait! What? Did you say Osman? That's the man who died in the big explosion at the Great Exhibition.
Yes, known publicly as the investor, but in reality, the head of significant criminal organization. Unbelievable. I wonder, could I ask you something, Lord Stronghart? Try me. Why do you use Lord Von Zych as a prosecutor? All the criminals who manage to get off in the court then meet with a mysterious ant outside the courtroom, and fearful of the fate, they seek to strike at Lord Von Zych first. I know there's no evidence that he actually is the Reaper in that sense, but still, something clearly is going on here. I have Von Zych work for the prosecution service for 2 reasons. Firstly, the man is the best prosecutor in the capital, bar none. And secondly, any deaths of criminals that have occurred outside the courtroom following his trials are nothing to do with him. But that doesn't make sense. How can you explain the way so many have died if not by someone's hand? Von Zych may have earned him the moniker of the Reaper, but he is no killer. So he will continue to prosecute on behalf of the crown. Unless he wishes otherwise, of course. Well, I must be leaving for my next engagement. I'm already 11 hours and 16 minutes late. My colleagues may be starting to fidget. 11 hours late? That's quite something. That meeting had already started when I arrived back here for the engagement with you. So lateness was inevitable. Time stops for no man. I'm sure it stopped for me during those 12 solid arguments and 223 reasons. Oh yes, where would I find Lord Von Zych now? I would assume he's at his office. Right, I'll go and ask him about the attack in person. I want to get this straight from the horse's mouth. Away with you now. I'm leaving Professor Harebrain's defense entirely in your hands. Of course, yes, thank you very much, Lord. And with that, we'll end the episode right here. Like, comment, subscribe. Shortcuts XB, and I'm signing out.